Yeah, I was looking at these videos and seeing the Introspective. And I've come to the realization that I have borderline personality disorder with psychosis. So I guess, like, dating life, if you know anything about borderline personality, you actually can't be a spouse of any kind because you just abuse your wives. I mean, that doesn't stop these people at the church. They're narcissistic and just rape their wives and then tell them it's sex because they don't believe in rape because they're pieces of shit. But when you have a church whose philosophy is Nietzsche and their philosophy is you throw out all your values and then your highest self, a complete piece of shit, like, you're not gonna win dealing with them on any level, ever. Because the ultimate solution to winning anything is murder, and I had that discussion with Anal Eating Mummy God. But, this video, as I look at all my videos, I gotta wonder exactly why your super ego is your subconscious has like 156 views. I wonder exactly why that is, but I just picture Stu watching it again and again, being pissed off. Get the super ego, that's how it works, I don't have one because my religion. Like, great. If it is true, I think it's the Dharma and Buddha talks about you have to live your best life as whatever you are, and these people fail to get past the emotional development stages. They're emotionally stunted. They're definitely going back to start and have to start again, so it's whatever. Their next life is same shit over and over again until you figure it out, dumbass, but whatever. I was thinking about, in my head, I could totally see me with a really fat chick that likes to eat and cuddle. And having the $1 billion the fucking church owes me. And changing the world. That's not a joke. Like, if given the proper opportunity and if the world just stopped working against me, and once again, altruism is a curse. People hate you when you're altruistic because they see you doing good and it makes them feel like shit. Okay. Common sense makes people hate you because they're like, oh, he's smarter than me. What's the third one? The third trifecta of hate me. Common sense! Being smarter than people makes them hate you. Okay. And I think about all those assets, but I also realize what a fantasy it is. Like, I busted my arm yesterday. I was riding the scooter, and I hit a messed up tile in the sidewalk at like 19 miles an hour on the scooter, and went flying, and I ended up catching myself on this arm. I think something like that would probably break a normal arm, but I just sprained my wrist, I hurt my elbow, and hurt my thumb. It's still kind of swollen. You can see it a little bit in the video. Yeah. I just, even living down here, they stole my Zithromax money, and I don't own a car I can sell them. I don't have a car in my name. And I just, it astounds me how far from God people can be removed and still think they're the good guys. It astounds me that these people can literally murder women whose only mistake is liking me. And I remember this from Stu and Gannon. There's a lot of women that like you. We've been killing so many women. Like, stop. What are you doing? Exactly. But in their brains, they're gods. Oh, there's no reason. There's no judgment for us in the afterlife. Like, this is how you know it's a devil's religion. Like, we just murder all the women. I don't espouse to any of that shit. I wanted to talk about that video I was talking about where I was like, why I just give up. And when the other entity is that fucking powerful and they just beat the shit out of you and they're not gonna stop, you or anybody, Pavlov dog syndrome, is going to give up. If I had overwhelming force and I just started beating Blondie repeatedly, he would eventually give up. Okay? It is an inevitability, not a mystery. Alright. It is my mistake in life, from childhood, believing that doing the right thing was somehow amazing. And it is a form of autism with me. I do the right thing. At least I try to do the right thing. Good people don't always do good, but they mean well. And that's more important than anything on the planet to me. It astounds me to no end how far you can go off the rails with this kind of shit. Removing all goodness you can from your life and then screaming you're somehow the victim. You do all the bad things, but somehow you're the victim, and I just... whatever. And arguably, like, yeah, yes, the left-wing socialism will all die because socialism is about caring for other people. And there's a bunch of masochists out there in the desert, in this church, that come across hurt people and then just start punching them in the face and say, like, stand up for yourself. Do something. Do something. And what do you want them to do? Kill you? And then if you kill them, they kill you. Well, what are you trying to prove? When I was in high school, there was this guy, I call him Log, and this other guy, we'll call him Kenny. He's one of the guys that sacrificed himself or whatever. Log would bully Kenny, and he would tell me he wanted Kenny to stand up for himself. He would want, and I kept telling Log to leave Kenny alone. No, he kept bullying him, and then one day Kenny came in with one of those belts that's also a seatbelt from like a car, and he slapped Logan in the face with it. That's not a joke. He, like, and just bitch smacked him with it. Log went down and then got up and started calling Kenny a pussy and a coward and a piece of shit and threw the biggest tantrum, and then Kenny took off running and Log went after him. And then he tried to beat up Kenny, and Kenny just started smashing him in the head repeatedly with the belt buckle until Log went down. Listen to your mission statement. You wanted him to stand, your goal was to make him stand up for yourself. When that individual stands up for himself and he shoots you in the head because you're harassing him because you have no business testing his mettle, you have no business terrorizing him to no end, you are not entitled to any of that. You have no business harassing him, and the real truth behind the matter is Logan was just bullying him to be bullying him. He didn't think anything bad was going to happen, and then when something bad happened, suddenly he's the victim. Suddenly this isn't okay. Suddenly there's a problem. Okay? And I grabbed Logan and I was like, leave him the fuck alone, dude. All you were doing was bullying him. That was it. And the sad, sad truth is you didn't want him to stand up, because if you did, after he bashed you in the head with the belt buckle, you would have thanked him. You didn't. Because you didn't actually care, and that is a fact. You have control issues, and you're trying to control other people because you're angry, okay? You're an imbecile, and you think like an imbecile. And Kenny did have a gun. He did bring a gun to school, and I did stop him from doing a mass shooting. That happened. Fucking Log's dumbass could have got a fucking bullet to the head because he kept bullying this kid. And I think about that in regards to this church, because I remember this stupid shit with Blondie talking about standing up. I don't believe in punishing people when they stand up for themselves. When somebody stands up for themselves, you fuck off. That's what happens, okay? Unless you want a fist fight or you want to get shot. And I would even argue, if I was the president of this fucking church, as soon as that happened to a member, we would send somebody out, find out oh, he was harassing you, we were harassing you, and we shot him in the head. Wow, this guy stood up for himself. He's a real man. Let's leave him alone. What about our member? What about him? He's dead. Ain't nothing I can do. I'm a god of death. I can't fucking raise him up. You guys worship the wrong motherfucker. This is stupid. We're idiots like this. Let's go. Like, it drives me to no end, but I remember Blondie going on about that, and the amount of times I stood up to these people is another thing. From being held up at gunpoint by Stu and fucking his dumbass brother Carrot, and just the amount of times these people harassed me and I told them to fuck off. They had me at gunpoint and I told them to fuck off. And then I think about that Houston Jones guy that has to hurt himself on YouTube, stood up for himself in court, ended up enslaved. Like, whenever somebody tells you, I'm doing this to get somebody to stand up for themselves, they're lying. Okay? They just want to hurt people, and they're making the excuse to hurt people. And once again, if Kenny came in and shot Log in the head, Log he would have to be okay with that. Like, oh boy, I got fucking shot. Like, yes. I don't understand the logic, and I don't really, like, you're not gonna comprehend it. But I also think about that thing I was talking about, just fucking, what about people when they have powers makes them behave like a complete piece of shit and think that's a good idea? Like, if Superman was the average human and they were like, and he just murdered people until they worshipped him, like, what if you are a superior being? You should probably have somebody that has a gun to your head to force you to do the right thing, because it appears in human nature when you get any type of power, you just behave like a complete piece of shit. Okay? And all these guys want to do is drugs. Like, drugs and have sex with everything. Like, what the fuck, dude? Talk about acceptance issues. I'm accepted by everything because I can rape it. Yeah. What I'm getting at here is, when I look at the introspective of these videos, I'm an amazing person. I've survived so much fucking hell, and these people could not fuck off for the life of them, okay? And it does make sense. When I told Anal-Eating Mummy God I wish to be left alone, and I remember him being so offended when I said I just want to be left alone. Like, and honestly, I think I said that because what I actually wanted was control of my life, and I don't have that. I'll never have that. I don't think there is a scenario where I can have that, because these people are legally allowed to single out a U.S. citizen and then bully them forever, indefinitely, for no fucking reason, without logic, without reason, without I hurted a guy's feelings, and he is such an effeminate pussy, and he is an effeminate pussy, okay? He couldn't handle it. Alright? I don't get what drives that. Okay? I don't, like, honestly, I don't, the only thing that I get that drives this church is rape, and it's rape through control. You rape somebody, you have control of them. That's how that works. The CIA explained that to me. They explained to me, oh, all churches that do this, and there are other churches that do this, it is rape through control. Okay? That is what it is for. It is strictly a controlling thing. I don't know. I don't really give it, like, I don't want to say I don't care. I'm just perplexed by this entire phenomenon. And I do have borderline personality disorder where I just fucking freak out, and that's combined with a psychosis, so I'm really not mentally well. So I could argue these people have taken probably everything from me outside of my fucking life. Like my physical life, killing me, murdering me, which I think is an inevitability. Not that anybody really gives a shit, but yeah. I don't know. Just my thoughts for now. Whatever logic, like, these people, if they were working in a cancer hospital, would just start punching the patients in the face and hoping that they got better by just physical violence. I don't really fucking get it. You see somebody in pain, and then you just go over and start hurting them more. Or you see somebody that's not winning, and I would argue it's the truth behind it is the emotionally stunted thing, where emotionally stunted children, severely ones, when they see a kid in pain, they walk over and hit him more because that kid made the mistake of making them feel bad. And they're self-centered. They think of themselves first. So you're making me feel bad by hurting, so I'm going to hurt you more. And then I'm just going to keep hurting you until you either die, because if you're dead, then I don't have to deal with that. Like, what are you trying to do exactly? But I think that's just the truth of it. I'd be willing to bet 1,000,000%, even these church members don't know what they're trying to do. And they probably couldn't explain it to you if they had to. The only thing they know is they want to do drugs and rape people. Like, and I think that's just the general truth. One of the weirder things they talked about is the natural order, natural order. And what they mean by the natural order is white supremacy runs everything. That's what they mean by the natural order, and that's not the natural order. You guys want to abide by the natural order? Get rid of the church. It's a social construct created by people. Get rid of it. Then you'll be in the natural world with natural order. And try not to rape your own kids, because even though you can do that, it's unnatural. There is no species of animal that rapes their own kids. Okay? You're the only gross weirdos that do that. You're alone in the universe. You freak.